Hey, we'll give a few more minutes because it's just not 6 o'clock yet, for others to join. Thank you all for coming this evening. I know I look a little dark. It's the lighting in my office. I apologize for that. All right, about another minute or two, and then we'll get started. I just ask everyone go on mute. If you do have questions, you can throw them in the chat as I go along. I will try to answer those questions at the end. I'll be going through a brief 6 or 7, maybe 8 slides of information. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Hopefully, I can answer those questions via these slides, or if I don't answer those questions, and you could probably find them on the frequently asked question sheet that Mr. Diaz had sent out yesterday. And if not, I'll do my best to answer any other questions that come up. We are going to get started. I'm just going to ask that everybody mute themselves. And again, if you have questions, you can type them into the chat. If you go into the chat, there's a place for everyone. If you wanted to type for everyone to see, if you wanted to make it a individual email or inside the chat that I can see, you can just click on my name. So I'm going to go and share my screen. Can everyone see SAES Parent Informational Meeting? All right. So, hold on, still people coming in. I'll be doing that periodically as well. So I want to thank you all for coming to our meeting tonight. We have decided to reopen our schools in I guess this is our phase 2, since phase 1 was all virtual. Phase 2 of this year is an A-B different day. When we originally polled parents, faculty members, the community, hold on, let me go back. We had a split day schedule, and I think I inadvertently had put the wrong re-entry plan, which confused most of you the other day, and I apologize for that. We have since fixed that on the website. If you go to the public schools website, or if you go to the principals page, you should be able to see our re-entry plan that is updated. You'll know it's updated because it says updated on October 19th, 2020, okay? So we're gonna start with the types of days that we have here. They were listed as A and B on the parent survey or the parent questionnaire. We've gone with purple and gold for multiple reasons. One, the middle high school was using purple and gold with their scheduling. And if you have been at our elementary school for more than a couple years, you'll know that we had A days, B days, C days, and D days. So if we had an A day and a B day in terms of the types of days, plus that other rotation, it would be confusing. If you have watched my morning announcements, you notice that each day I do a kindergarten day, and that kindergarten day is directly related to their specials. All right, so we didn't want to get confused with A days, B days, and then the kindergarten days. So we went with purple and gold. If your student is a purple student, meaning that's the days that you chose, they will be attending in person Mondays and Wednesdays. They will be virtual Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then if you were a gold student or a B-Day at the time student, they attend school Tuesdays and Thursdays and are virtual on Mondays and Wednesdays. Fridays are something different. Fridays are going to be alternating purple and gold days. Now, when the superintendent sent out his letter just recently, he had a calendar that was a part of that letter. I have the calendar in my presentation tonight that I'm going to go over for November, because November is a very, to use our technical term, wonky month. It is something that that has many different days, including half days, and you can see it here, including half days and days off. So I want you to just take a look at next week, which is this top week right here. On Monday, the 26th, we begin our rollout. Our rollout is just for, again, this week of the 26th, excuse me, is just for the pre-K and kindergarten kids, Miss LaMagna's class, Miss Everett's class, and Miss Menzel's class. That is the week of October 26th, beginning Monday. So on Monday, if you are a pre-K student, kindergarten student, or in Miss LaMagna's class, Miss Everett's, or Miss Menzel's class, and you are a purple student, you're coming into school. If you're a gold student, you won't be coming in until Tuesday. Purple on Wednesday, gold on Thursday. That Friday, the very first week, which is the 30th, is a purple day. So for this first week of the rollout, the purple in-person students are there 3 times this week. The next 2 weeks is where we get a little funky. The week of November 2nd, grades 1 and 2, and Mr. Parks and Miss Durant's classes will be coming back in addition to everyone that's already been there. Now this day, or this week, excuse me, is different. Monday is purple. Tuesday has to be virtual only due to the executive order of the governor for election day. And then Wednesday is gold. Obviously, that is different from our purple and gold days in that first week, but we wanted to make sure we have equitable amount of time with our students. So on Monday the 2nd is purple, just like it normally would be. That Tuesday is virtual only. And then that Wednesday is gold, which is different. Thursday and Friday, we are closed. The last week of the rollout, grades 3, 4, and 5 are coming on November 9th, the week of November 9th. So that is a purple, gold. On that Wednesday, we are off for Veterans Day. Then we have a gold day as normal, and that Friday is purple. Again, to be equitable among our classes for that week. The rest of it should flow pretty easily, and there shouldn't be many differences between the purple and gold weeks. It's just these next couple weeks, which happen to be the weeks we're trying to roll out, are going to be a little bit different. So we made a decision as a committee and as a district to roll them out this way. And I'm only going to speak for the elementary school. I think this is the smartest way we could have done it, by rolling it out slowly. We acknowledge that this is something different for everybody, and that's why I wanted to have an informational Zoom meeting for you all. I will be posting this meeting on my principal's page, and also I'll be posting the reentry plan again on my principal's page. Time schedule is slightly different than what was originally shared due to many factors. Our K through 5 time schedule is as follows. The doors open at 8:30, again, for students coming into our school. You have specific arrival doors to go to, and you'll see pictures in a few minutes of the 6-foot distancing that we have put out by those doors, but you have specific doors to go to. They are all found in the reentry plan. They open at 8:30, they close by 8:40. Our first period, 8:40 to 9:15, and then you can see as we go along. The difference is our dismissal. Our dismissal is at 1:03. Originally was 1:15, but please note the time change. It is extremely important for everyone to get to school on time, as well as to be there for pickup on time. We shouldn't have traffic issues because we are coming back with many fewer kids than on a normal day. That again is for K through 5. Pre-K is slightly different. They're arriving a shade later at between 8:50 and 9 o'clock at the doors noted. It says below, but that's from my reentry plan. At the doors noted in the reentry plan, and then the pre-K dismissal time is at 12:55. So they come slightly later and they leave slightly earlier. This is so that we don't have as much congestion in our hallways. Masks. All students and staff are required to wear masks or face coverings in our building during the course of the entire school day. That does count arrival and dismissal. Parents, you need to ensure that your students arrive to school wearing a mask/face covering. It's very important. These are CDC and DOH guidelines. We need to adhere to these. All right, this is something, obviously I'm not wearing a mask right now, but if you've seen my announcements, I do have a mask on, and it's something that we take very seriously. If a student doesn't have a mask, we may have one to give them, a disposable one, but we can't supply every student every day with a mask. So please remember to bring your masks. If you are waiting for your children, you know, it's dismissal time and you're there a few minutes early, you're waiting for your children to come out, please wear a mask. It would be very nice of you to honor the requests of the school as well as other people in the public to wear those masks. I do appreciate it. COVID-19 forms. Some of you, all of you should have been receiving these already via Genesis. Each day, whether you are virtual or in person, you need to fill those forms out. The reason we started it earlier this week was to get everyone in the habit of filling them out. They need to be filled out again, whether you're virtual or in person. And if your child is feeling under the weather, this is something I have signs hanging up all over the place. If your child's not feeling well, please keep them home. We don't want to take any chances with their health. We don't want to take any chances with the health of all the other children in our building and the other staff members in our building. If they're not feeling well, please keep them home. If they're not feeling well, but they're well enough to attend school virtually, please put them online and get in touch with your teacher right away. You may have a cough, you may have the sniffles, and somebody may not want you, or your parents may not want to bring your kids to school, just not to take any chances, but they're good enough to get online and take that course that day or go into that class that day. Please do so. This way it won't affect your attendance if you have any kind of attendance issues. Odds and ends. I know this is a big one. No food in the classrooms. We can't have students having snacks. Now that is something that we feel strongly about. It is something that I know I've received pushback already on, but it's something that I feel is necessary. So I encourage you to have and I know it's not the greatest of all situations, but I encourage you to have your kids have a strong breakfast in the morning. It's something that we feel is necessary for the health and safety of all the kids in our classrooms, as well as the staff that are in our building. Meals will be picked up at the end of the day on the way out of the building. So it is a grab and go. we want you to understand that I believe it's until December 31st. And if that changes, I will let you know. But I believe until December 31st, the meals are free for everyone, not just free and reduced lunch. So they will be picked up at the end of the day on the way out of the building. We're going to have 3 separate stations where children, as they pass by, will take a bag with them to go on their way. Please be prompt again for arrival. 8:30 to 8:40 is with our K to 5, and with our pre-K, it's 8:50 to 9 o'clock, and dismissal at 1:03. So that is important that we are here for arrival and dismissal on time. We are not allowing any parents into the building. So in the past, when you were late, you used to come to John Street, buzz, come in, sign in. That is not going to be the case anymore. If you are late, you're going to have to come to John Street and ring the bell, and someone, a staff member, will come up, have you sign in at the door. We will take your child to their destination classroom. There is no moving around the building aside from emergencies, bathroom or nurse. I'm going to go over some of the procedures that we're putting in place just so you guys have a better idea about what the security procedures we have in place now. You're going to see some pictures in just a moment about it, but we want to make sure that if your child forgot something, most likely we're not going to be able to get that item to your child. So please make sure they have everything before they come: notebooks, pens, pencils, whatever is required for them in school. Here are those pictures I was talking about. Our custodial staff over the last few days, last couple of weeks actually, have been setting up our building for success and having markers on the ground painted, 6-foot markers that are 6 feet apart. You can see the picture all the way to the right is our John Street entrance. The picture in the back is the George Street entrance. That's the picture, third one from the left. The second one from the left is on John Street. And inside, you'll see the inside hallway. There's blue tape on the walls. The blue tape is separated by 6 feet. So when students come in, they're going to sit by the blue tape. There'll be assigned spaces. They will sit at the blue tape, and the teacher will welcome them into the classroom. When they enter the classroom, they will be sanitizing their hands. We have hand sanitizers in every classroom. We do have hand sanitizers at every entrance, but if it starts to get congested, meaning too many kids trying to go to one sanitizer, we will tell them to go to their classrooms where they will sanitize their hands inside the classroom. These are some of the safety precautions. Some of the others I'd like to talk about. We don't have every bathroom open. There will be bathrooms that are locked, but we have bathrooms on every floor, aside from the 5th grade floor, which there is no bathroom on that floor. We will have, that's not saying the 5th graders cannot go to the bathroom. We will have bathrooms available for them. We will have an adult stationed outside each bathroom, and we will be watching the students that come in, meaning one at a time into the bathroom. We have 6-foot spacers outside each bathroom. We are not allowing more than 2 students to be waiting in line at those 6-foot spacers, meaning I have one student that's 6 foot away from the door, another student 6 foot away from them. Anyone else that comes out, they're going to have to, wait. And that's why I have the adults outside. They're going to send the kids back to the classroom and tell you have to wait. We will be making sure that only one student is in the bathroom at each time. We have decided to bring an extra custodian in during the day so that we can have our custodians going through the hallways, making sure that the touch points are wiped down with a cleaning solution, making sure that the bathrooms are sanitized, making sure that anything that needs to be done is done. Mr. Rich, Miss Monica, they've all been doing a great job throughout this pandemic of keeping our hallways and our classrooms clean. as well as making sure that we are prepared to open starting Monday. The touch points, I am trying to eliminate as many touch points as possible. So in the stairwells, when you're going from the stairwell to a floor, one of those doors will be open so that you do not have to push the door to open it. We will continue to wipe down all the touch points, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that we're trying to eliminate as many touch points as possible. After arrival, meaning after the doors shut at 8:40, there are certain stairwells that are limited to up only and down only. We realize that, and there's some hallways that are one way as well. We realize that it may take an extra couple seconds to go from one hallway to the other hallway, from one stairwell to the other stairwell, but we realize that it is important to maintain that one way of traffic so that there isn't that cross congestion, one class going up, one class going down, if they had to leave their room for some reason. At this point, my presentation is over. I'm going to try and look at the chat now. Hold on one second. I know Mr. Diaz is on our call as well, and I'm trying to see if there's anything that I need to address right away. So give me a moment, please, as I look. All right.
Mr. Duffy, I've been able to answer most of the questions that are coming in on the chat.
Okay, great.
You can focus on the presentation. I can answer some of the chat, and then if there's any questions for me after your presentation, I'll be willing to answer them.
Okay. Just so we know, there is, let me come back to the chat here. There is, in Genesis, we have, if you don't fill out that COVID-19 form, you will be receiving a text and an email to fill it out. If you fill out on that COVID-19 form that there is a, itchy, runny eyes, coughing, you fill out one or two of those ailments are happening, we're going to get notified, and we may have your child see the nurse, because we want to make sure that it is allergies, or it is it is something that we don't have to worry about. We realize the importance of that. If we're, as you enter, sorry, I didn't say this, as the students are entering the building, their temperature is being taken by a staff member. So when a child walks into the building, they're going to get not an oral thermometer, they're going to get the body surface temperature thermometer. So it's going to take us a few minutes. That's why we said that 8:30 to 8:40 time is for arrival, because it will take us a few minutes to get everyone into the building. It's going to be quicker the first few days, I do believe, because the pre-K and the K have a smaller class size than the grades 1 through 5. But we are going to be taking everybody's temperature before they walk into the building, or as they walk into the building, I should say. We feel that we are prepared. I've been chomping at the bit to get these kids back in school. I know a few things as a parent. I love that my kids are back in school, and my 8th grader just went back this week. He was not happy the first day when I sent him back, but he is happy that he's going now. I think the staff are a little bit anxious because they don't know what to expect between kids in school and kids online. I think that they are excited to get back for the most part. They really are, because they want to see the kids' faces. They feel the importance and know the importance of the socialization in school. Even though kids are going to have masks on, they need that back and forth with the children. It's funny, I saw a video the other day there was a tweet of a daughter saying to her father, the teacher has 30 kids online, and I know we don't have that many, but all the kids are giving a blank stare. And the daughter says, I don't know how the teacher does it. I fully comprehend what that is now. I never would have guessed that we had to go through something like this to know the amount of effort and practice that our teachers are really putting in. I say, okay, you got to shut off at 3:30, 4 o'clock, shut your computer and go be with your family. And they won't, they don't. Some are on till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I know this because they're texting me at 9, 10 o'clock at night saying, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about that? I appreciate the staff we have here so much that I really think you are in the best of hands, whether you're sending your kids in or if you're choosing to hold them home virtually. I do appreciate the time you've taken to go through this decision. It is a major decision. I'm not putting light on any of it, but I want you to know that they are in great hands when your kids walk into this building. And I have not much else to say about my staff, about my kids. And you all know, I think I could probably go through every one of you on this call and name your kids. And when they walk in, I'll name them by name, all 514 of them once I get to know the pre-K kids. I take great pride in that. And I think that's because we are such a strong community. And I just wanted to know how much you guys mean to me, your kids mean to me, and my staff means to me, because this is the community that I've been in for now going into my 15th year. And I've never seen anything like this before, but I've never seen a staff pull together before after something like this. You know, I've lived through 9/11. It was a tragedy, and I couldn't imagine going through something like that again. This was harder for me. I don't know about other personal reasons, but this was harder for me to deal with than that was. And I lost a few friends in 9/11. But I didn't want to bring down the somber tone. I think, Mr. Diaz, were there any questions that weren't answered that I really need to address? No snacks. I saw in there water bottles are okay. Just remember, put the student's name on the water bottle, and they're not going to be able to refill. All our water fountains are closed, and just so in the bathrooms, just so you know, we have one sink only being used, and we do have multiple stalls and urinals being used, but our custodians will be going in there and sanitizing frequently throughout the day.
Mr. Dunphy, there's a question about the lunch periods. What happens during the regular lunch period, or what would normally be scheduled the lunch period, and what happens with the virtual students? Does that lunch period go away?
Okay, so yes, the lunch period does go away. We've moved to a 7-period schedule. If we were in that 8-period schedule like we had, we would have that lunch period. Again, not having food in school, I know that there's going to be times where our teachers, weather permitting, will have them outside. I've spoken to many of our teachers that have been working from school. And if they're going to bring the kids outside for, we call it a mask break, then the kids at home will have time to, log off of the computer. We realize that it is a lot of time on the computer. I didn't realize how much it would affect myself, and as an adult, having to be on the computer for so long, all day, every day. I can't imagine what it's doing to some of the children. So if we do take the classes out for mask breaks, which that really is what it's going to be, take a walk outside, get some fresh air, 6 feet apart at least, and taking our masks down, then at that time, the kids who are virtual will have a break from the class or from that session. We are continuing to have specials. It's not going to be the traditional specials, so the kids are not going to go to gym. The gym teachers or all the specials teachers will be pushing into the classrooms once we begin again, which again, it will start on Monday. So there's no transferring of students from their homeroom to another class. If you're in 4th and 5th grade, the teachers will be switching rooms, not the children. So again, less congestion in the hallway, less chance of being right next to each other in the hallway. So that's one of the main reasons why we did that as part of our plan. Anything else, Mr. Diaz, that you see that? Trying to look here. Here's something that's big. Because of our classroom sizes and our class sizes, we understand that people may want to change their mind, okay, and go from in-person to virtual. That's an accommodation we will be able to make. It's going to be difficult to make the accommodation the other way. I don't know if we can do it. There's no guarantee. If you filled out that questionnaire, I believe it said not until we come back till we are, fully going through our 8-period schedule all day with all kids in. So the in-person, if you chose in-person, and by now you should have received an all-call from me, I think on Monday, and the superintendent is in his letter. You need to log on to Genesis to see, one, if you did choose in person, what day did you get, gold or purple? We did try to accommodate everybody's wishes. If you didn't fill out the survey, we placed you in an in-person group because of that reason. It is easier to go from in-person to virtual than it is to go from virtual to in-person. We may not be able to make that accommodation. I'm just putting that out there. I also want you to understand that our teachers, although they are doing everything they possibly can, it's no substitute to be in person as a virtual student, meaning they may not, right now, I can tell you that a lot of students are getting a lot of individualized attention because I have 17 kids in front of me on a call, and I can make sure that I speak to each of them. That may not be the case when you have 7 kids in person and 10 kids online. I just wanted to be clear. Entrance passes, I don't believe we're utilizing those, Mr. Diaz, are we, the entrance passes? Because I don't expect a kindergartner to bring a cell phone to school.
No.
There was a question about entrance passes. I know some districts, when you fill out the COVID questionnaire form, the student gets an entrance pass on their phone via Genesis. We are not doing that at the elementary school, and I don't think we're doing it at the middle high school, but I don't want to speak for Dr. McCabe.
Mr. Dunphy, there's a question about parents who might have multiple children that either enter or exit on opposite sides of the building. What will be the protocol for them?
Right now, we will hold them at those entrances or exits to give you time to get around the building. Again, it's going to be, if you're walking, we understand it'll take a couple minutes. I would say pick up the younger ones first and then get to the older ones. If you're driving, there shouldn't be much traffic at all because it's less than half of the students coming in. We're prepared to have half the students in the building in terms of space inside the classrooms. So we're prepared for that. It's going to be less than that as we filtered through all the surveys. It's going to be less than that. So there shouldn't be any traffic. And I know the George Street traffic is crazy. The John Street traffic is crazy on a normal day. I don't foresee that happening at this point. Basic skills and speech, they will still be receiving their speech and related services, OT, PT, if they were getting them, they will still be receiving those. The schedule may change slightly, but they still will be receiving those. Basic skills, we are working on a schedule as well. That may be, the basic skills piece may be virtual only, meaning when your child goes home and there's that student support time at the end of the day, they'll be meeting with Mrs. Kenny or Mrs. Levine. But I am working with Mrs. Kenny and Mrs. Levine and on that situation. Sorry, I'm trying to look at these.
There's a question about confirmation. I think the question is if kids are going for in person, if they still haven't received any confirmation, can they still attend in person? The response to that is, please double check the parent portal. Once you sign in on the bottom left-hand corner, you will see one of three choices that might be checked off with a green check mark for virtual, purple, or gold. So that's your confirmation. Generally, like Mr. Dunphy said, if your preference was purple, then purple for the most part was granted. Sorry about that.
Yes, book bags. Okay. Are children allowed to bring book bags to school with them with their supplies? We're encouraging that. Just so you know, with the classrooms, in 4th and 5th grade, they have lockers. They are not having lockers this year. Lockers are all zip tied. In grades K through 3, they all had hangers in the back for book bags, jackets. We are not using them either. So when you walk into a classroom, you'll be assigned a desk. That's going to be your desk. There's actually a desk next to it with caution tape around it that they can use as a place for their book bag. They'll be hanging their jackets on their chairs. Book bags and school supplies will go on top of that other desk. Then they'll be utilizing their desk. We are not sharing supplies with students, meaning that, you know, Johnny can't give Jill his scissors or pens, or we're not sharing supplies. It's imperative that they have what they need. Yes, a teacher can give them a pencil, give them a pen. They're not going to be collecting them back, so they are going to run out at some point. So please try and have your supplies there. I need you to get to dismissal time as close to 1:04 as possible. I understand that if you're picking up 2 children, one's in George Street and one's at John, we're always within reason. We always understand that, you know, people are coming around the building. We just need to be here as quickly as possible so that the teachers can go grab something quick to eat and then get it to their student support time. And I didn't put that on my schedule. I apologize that I just realized that there is a student support time still from 1:55 to 2:55 each day. Okay, so there is an hour of online student support. So if you are, even if you are in school that day, you may be requested to go to that student support time. If you're virtual that day, you may be requested. You should, teachers have been requesting students to go. Remember that student support time is a part of the school day. I know that I've made a few phone calls this year to parents where a teacher has requested multiple times. I understand once in a while, but multiple times, hey, I need Billy to come to my student support time. And the parent will say, well, I got things I have to do. I'm sorry, but this is part of the school day. If we want to make sure that we're staying on par educationally as best as we can, we need to be able to help all the students that need the help. No, they're not able to keep supplies in desks. Everything has to come with you each day. Dismissals at 1:04. Let's see. Mr. Diaz, do you know what time middle school or high school ends? I believe it's a little before that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know what? I included the link above for the middle school reentry plan.
Okay.
Let me take a quick look.
All right, Chromebooks. Yes, you can bring, if you have a school issued Chromebook, you can bring that back and forth. Here's my one plea. I talked with Mike Elson, our IT coordinator. What he's seen and what he's heard is that even when students put them into their book bag, the LCD screens have a chance at breaking. I'm just worried about a kid putting it in his book bag and dropping the book bag, or carrying it under his arm and dropping it on the sidewalk. I just want you to just be careful if you are going to transport Chromebooks back and forth. We cannot accept non-school issued devices because the firewall won't let that device connect. So if you don't have a school issued Chromebook And again, Chromebooks are not necessary, but if you don't have a school issued Chromebook, we don't want you bringing in your own personal devices. Just most kids don't have that, but if you do, we just want to make sure. You don't need the Chromebooks for in-person. There are some teachers may say, okay, you know what, if you're a purple person coming on Friday and I want to give a diagnostic, they may request it for a day. We do have some staff members that may say, yes, please bring the Chromebooks whenever you can. And just ask your teacher, speak with them about it. We just got word that we could fix the settings and reconfigure the settings to have them work both at home and at school. So this is something that they just found out, I think, last week. So this is something they're working around with their plans. Okay.
Actually, I think, Mr. Dunphy, that's already been completed. So the computers will automatically connect to our network upon entry to the school.
Okay.
And then when they go home, they will reconnect to your network that you've set up there. So it should be seamless.
Mrs. Guthrie will make accommodations for, you know, if the teacher says they need them to have a Chromebook, we can try and make accommodations for some small, we'll work with you, okay? And just so you know, I try to work with everybody, I really do. And I apologize because I've been inundated with emails, and I think that's my own fault for not arranging this sooner. And I do apologize for that. I didn't mean to spring on everybody that we were, you know, opening on Monday and now it's Thursday. I was really trying to get my own ducks in a row to make sure that we are prepared for every possible scenario. I'm actually going to another district tomorrow to see their opening, to see if there's anything that I forgot. The school is similar in our size. I've got a phone call with 2 other principals tomorrow just to see if there's anything that I may have forgotten and these are principals who have already opened. So other districts in Middlesex County, in Monmouth County, that I call if I have a question and I want to bounce an idea off a different district, I call these guys. So I am going to see one in action tomorrow, and just if I have any questions, I can ask that principal there. I'm also going to see if there's anything that I forgot, and if there is, then we're going to institute it right away. And of course, you would get a quick email if it's something that is major for the parents to know before coming in. Do children have to wear the mask up to their nose? Yes, it has to be covering the nose and the mouth. Again, teachers are going to be bringing their kids outside. I think even if it's chilly weather, as long as it's not raining, snowing, etc., I think at some point during the day, teachers will be bringing them outside. Again, that's not a guarantee, but I think most teachers are going to need to have that mask break themselves and go outside and with the kids and let them all take a second to breathe some fresh air. We all need some fresh air. Believe me, I get it. And Ms. Guthrie, yeah, I agree with you. Asthma issues, Mr. Diaz, I think we said something about a doctor's note. It says, what if your child can't breathe under the mask because of asthma? I think we do need a doctor's note for that, to be very honest with you. We do have a new school nurse. Nurse Lisa is with us as of now. She will be in the pre-K wing. We will be having a second school nurse, not in the very beginning of the year, but slowly we will be phasing in a second school nurse. Face shields do not completely cover the nose and the mouth. We do have face shields for staff if they want to wear them. That is a choice on their behalf. Mr. Diaz just shared the new nurses information with everybody, and I'll put it up on my principal's page as well. So if you have any questions about asthma or anything else, she'll be able to accommodate you. I can't show you right now an accommodation of a class setup, but I can take a few pictures for you. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll go through and take a few pictures. If you just looked on Instagram or Facebook, I did throw up the 4 pictures I had in the presentation. I also put up this afternoon on Facebook, South Amboy Arts Council is having a Halloween contest, a costume contest for kids and families. So I think that's kind of cool to get involved that way. Let's see what else. Yeah, when you're drinking the water, the kids are going to remove the mask real quickly. Just take it down, take a sip, put the top back on, and put the mask back up. YMCA, I have a call into them about having the kids, bussed here and picked up after school, et cetera. You may, if you have a student down there now, you may want to contact them and get on board with them as well. I've contacted them yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I think it was Monday. So 2 days before. I'm waiting to really speak with, I spoke with Miss Judith, but I'm waiting for to speak with other people. Average class size is about 7 to 8. The most we can fit into a room in the elementary school and still hold on to the 6-foot social distancing is 10. We chose the smallest room in our building, square footage wise, mapped out how many desks we can put in there that adhere to all social distancing, and that room had enough room for 10 spots, 10 desks, students 6 feet apart in all directions. It's not going to look like what we've had, where you're going to walk in and there's maybe a U-shaped in one classroom, and then in another classroom we have centers and we have groups, small groups. It's not going to look like that, not for a while. We are in rows and columns just to make sure that we adhere to all the distancing. And I'd say that's in 99% of our classrooms. The smaller self-contained classrooms may be set up slightly differently because they have fewer kids, but the regular ed classrooms are set up in that way. Let's see what else. Yeah, everyone is on their own island, unfortunately. That's what, if you know what the island is, if sometimes kids get put on an island because they can't handle group setting, now everyone is on their own island. We're trying to work with the YMCA. I know the YMCA is trying to work with buses. So before care and after care, we used to offer basket in our building. We do not offer that now. When we come back to regular times, we will, I'm sure, but for right now, no. YMCA may offer a before care and after care program. I'm willing to work with them. We have a good working relationship, so I'm hoping that that they can offer that to you guys. For the dropping of young pre-K and kindergarten, someone picking the kids at the doors. We have people at the doors, and they will escort them into the Alexa wing, and teachers are going to be in the Alexa wing, especially those first 2, 3, 4 weeks, making sure that they come in, they sit at their blue paint strip, and are out there doing what they're supposed to do. I know YMCA is working very hard. Basketball, I'm not sure of. To be very honest with you, I don't believe we are hosting any kind of basketball programs, rec or otherwise, in our buildings yet. That's something to be determined. I know that the governor put out that they can begin preparing for winter sports, which included basketball, wrestling, and a few other sports, but that does not affect us. And I don't know about the rec programs. I know they haven't gone through me to request building usage, so I don't know if they are going to be working in our building. Yes, teachers will be able to answer questions to children that are virtual during a class. The only thing is it's not going to be exactly when they want that question asked. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. Students will be taken outside for a walk and for mask breaks. That's what we're trying to do. The all virtual schedule is following the same schedule that we have in the presentation I had before. So the 7-period schedule, and then there's the student support time for an hour in the afternoon from 1:55 to 2:55. If a child has a fever at the time they get their temperature checked at 8:30, we will call an adult to come pick them up. And thank you for asking that question. It is imperative that you check Genesis and you make sure that not only your information is right, meaning phones, emails, addresses, but also any emergency contacts. Because if I can't get you because you're on your way to work and you're not picking up the phone in the car, which is the right thing to do, I need to get to that next emergency contact to make sure that your child is taken out. And when I mean that is if they have a fever, if they present symptoms, if they're throwing up, whatever it is, we have to make sure that all the children are safe and secure, but at the same time that we can get to an emergency contact or a parent that can come pick them up. And when I say emergency contact, I've run into some times where the emergency contact lives in Pennsylvania or lives in New York and can't get here in an hour. That's not acceptable. We have to find emergency contacts that are within reason around Middlesex County that can come to our school and pick up a child if need be. When you go on to Genesis, to change emergency contacts, I believe it says contacts. When you log into the parent portal in the upper right corner, I believe it says contacts, and you can click on that and it will allow you to change everything, I believe, except your address. That's the only thing it won't allow you to change. It'll allow you to add contacts. I think it also allows you to delete contacts if necessary.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Ms. Fedorka.
Hi. Okay. So everyone keeps saying dismissals at 1:07. So the thing you sent out in the emails is that elementary school dismissal is at 1:15. Can you just clarify what time I'm going to be picking up my children?
Dismissal is at yes, dismissal is at 1:04. I know you had popped in a little bit later. When the original schedule
from you guys I got today says 1:15. So I just want to make sure.
It shouldn't have, because the schedule is 1:04. 1:04 is when dismissal is. And I know if like Ms. Fedorka has kindergarten and 3rd grade maybe. So she's got to hustle from George Street to John Street because we have 2 different dismissal points. So coming in, and that's the route I would take, Ms. Fedorka, if you're picking up both of them, coming to George Street first and then coming around to John Street. And arrival doors and dismissal doors are exactly the same doors. We want to make sure of that. That's why we staggered pre-K and kindergarten so that the pre-K kids aren't waiting at the same doors as the kindergarten kids when they're getting dismissed. So, and at arrival time too. Trying to think what else. Is there a schedule, an outdoor snack or younger grades? Obviously, more than 6 foot apart, perhaps during a mask break. At this time, we are not doing any snacks. I'm not saying that is not going to change, but right now I need to see how this is all going to flow. To be very honest with you, this is something new for everybody, and I'm listening to parents that really want the snacks in school, but we're definitely not having snacks in school. And I like the suggestion of being outside to have snacks, but that's not something we're going to do right now. But I'm not saying that's out of the question for the near future. Do COVID-19 screening questionnaire. Yes, every day you have to do, virtual or not, you have to do that COVID screening questionnaire. Ms. Caldwell, not right now. When you go outside for a walk, no snacks as of right now. Mr. Diaz, what happens when you get a positive COVID-19 infection? Will it go all virtual as they did in Woodbridge? And we've spoken to Woodbridge today, I believe, right, Mr. Diaz?
We did.
Okay.
Just so that you know, Woodbridge did not go all virtual. They do have 15 infections in Woodbridge. I spoke to the superintendent this morning. The article that went out apparently was fake news. They do have 10 teachers and 5 students that are infected in various schools. I believe there were quarantines of certain schools, but the entire district did not go into all virtual, just as a clarification. To answer that question, Mr. Dunphy, and for the parents that are on the call, it all depends. We have a contact tracing team, and we have a contact at the Department of Health that we work with in order to determine, who are the contacts that need to be identified. Based on the information that we obtained through that investigation, we're able to determine, in conjunction with the Department of Health, whether a classroom has to be quarantined, whether a wing has to be quarantined, or whether an entire school needs to be quarantined. So it all depends on many factors during that investigation. But the FAQ, I did provide a chart that the Department of Health does kind of follow. So you can look at some of those scenarios, and if it meets some of that criteria, you will at least get a picture of what may happen to the school if it meets that criteria.
Hand sanitizing stations are in every classroom. They are also at every entrance once the students walk into the building. But they are in every single classroom. They're outside of all bathrooms and at every entrance. So just so you're aware of that. All right, so here's my plan. First of all, thank you. We had 102 participants, so that's unbelievable. Thank you so much for coming on, and I know you all have many questions. My plan is to take the recording of the meeting and post it on my principal's page once I can get that up and running, meaning the recording. I will take a picture of a typical classroom so that you could see what it looks like inside. I will post the re-entry plan again on the principal's page, and keep an eye on my principal's page, as well as Facebook and Instagram for South Amboy Elementary School. I try to post pictures there of good stuff that our kids are doing, our teachers are doing. And I will try to post some pictures. The 4 pictures I had on the presentation are up there already. I will put the presentation as well into my principal's page so that you could all refer back to it instead of having to go through the recording. Once again, thank you so much to everybody. If you had a question in the chat and it wasn't answered, you can email me, you can call me. I'll be in tomorrow. I'll be in a little later because I do have to go see that opening. But I will be in tomorrow during the day. And trust me, if I didn't get back to you today, I think I got back to all the emails that came in. I will be back. I will get back to you by tomorrow. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate, yes, Mr. Diaz put up an FAQ page as well in the coronavirus preparedness piece of the public schools website. It does answer 99% of the questions. It's that 1% that I keep on having to answer. And I'm appreciative of those questions because I didn't think of some of those things, and it's making me rethink what I need to do. I hope all is well with you. Please stay safe, be healthy, and we're here for you. So just ask any type of questions you need, okay? Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you.